So New York Fashion Week just happened, and for years I wanted to go to New York and like sit in on some of the shows. I still want to do it. I still have yet to be able to attend a show, but I would love to see it. Not because I am somebody who particularly follows trends or that I would even be ordering or pre-ordering anything that's walking down the runway, but I do love fashion. I've always loved it since I was a little kid. I love the colors and the textures and the richness and the designs, and it's art. To me, I think, you know, what you see on the runways isn't real clothing that we're gonna wear or purses or bags or whatever it's gonna be, but it's an interpretation of somebody's vision, and I just love that. Now, for the last couple years, especially, beauty, the makeup that accompanies these fashion lines hasn't really been a focus. I mean, it's certainly part of the collections, but all in all, beauty has kind of taken a back seat to the clothes and the bags and the shoes, which, you know, I get, but I have to say, I was always interested in how the makeup and the hair sort of matched or was deliberately in opposition with the clothing. Like, so if they had like really outlandish clothing, they tended to have very minimalist makeup and vice versa. But for, I'd say the last couple seasons, it's been very clean girl makeup, very relaxed hair, minimalist, which again has kind of fallen in with the clothing trends as well. So it's not like it's a surprise that the makeup was like that. However, I will say on the runways that I saw, the things that I saw, makeup and more fun, over-the-top makeup seemed to be making a comeback. Now, maybe it's just for, you know, the season 24 that they just ran down the runway, which is basically full, but I was excited. So I saw this article. This is in New Beauty Magazine. I love New Beauty Magazine. I'm always looking at New Beauty Magazine for all the different like things that are out there that you can do. They have like, you know, different like serums and like different plastic surgeries. I'm always just fascinated by that stuff. But anyway, so it says the biggest beauty trends on the runway at New York Fashion Week 2024. Makeup is back on the runway. And this is by Isabel Bueno. I'm so sorry. Editorial assistant, February 14th. So it's published on Valentine's Day. Have this go up just so I make sure that it's attributed to the right person. So there are a number of trends that they have in here, and there's 9 of them that they list. And I actually did some of it with my look today, but I want to comment on some of the looks I've seen and then talk about some of the makeup that I've already seen introduced, which I think matches this. So I think we might be seeing more of this in the coming months, next year as well. Because again, if you're seeing them on the runway now, it doesn't mean that they're popping up in stores now, but it does tend to influence what we will see coming weeks, coming months, coming years. Now, it used to be in fashion, like if you saw a fashion show, you wouldn't see anything until the next year. Now, though, in the era of fast fashion, let's face it, there are some houses that are gonna get these designs up really quickly and the makeup to match. And there's some makeup lines that go up very, very quickly, and then they come up with, you know, a new collection like every week. There are others that are more, looking for the right word here, they take their time. So we might not see this until 2025. All right, number 1 is a messy, smoked out eye. And they have some pictures of what they mean by that. Now, I have started to see this on TikTok. Now, I am technically on TikTok if you want to subscribe to me over there. I do not post very often. I do not post very often because I'm not a huge fan of TikTok. Any of you who are, I'm not dissing that. I'm just saying I am not a huge fan of TikTok. I'm older. Maybe it's just not my thing. But I do watch it and I do like see what like trends are over there. And you know, every once in a while I'll post something. And I have started to see this messy, smoky eye. And I was like, why do you want your makeup to look like you slept in it? Like, I don't get it. However, again, this artistic interpretation, right? It's not like you personally have to have your eye makeup all smudgy. But the one thing that I will take from it, though, I think that's really interesting, is a messy, smoked out eye. What did we just see? We just saw the Tom Ford iconic smoke. quad. That quad is perfect for a smoked out, edgy look. And you can definitely smudge it to your heart's content and get it all over your face if you'd like. The Ember Bronze is also something that you could smoke out if you decided you wanted to. And I haven't seen, like, most of the stuff that's been coming out is kind of springy, right? But we are starting to see a couple of new things come out here and there that do look like they might be, quote, smoky and smudgeable. So I think that's going to be a trend. Again, this is the messy smoked out eye. I think it's something that you're going to see more like editorial, like on TikTok or on Instagram. I don't think all of us are going to be going to the office with smudgy, messed up makeup. But the smoky eye, I think, is definitely on its way back. And I did do a smoky eye today. This is a courtesy of a quad that no longer exists. Well, it's actually two quads, but this one is Tisse Smoky, which is a beautiful, stunningly gorgeous quad. And if you are in the mood for a smoky quad and you want something like that already exists, for Chanel, for example, Modern Glamour is a really good one. Chanel is supposedly reformulating their quads. Blink, blink, blink. So if I were you and you like some of the ones that already exist, go buy them now. Again, I hate to do that because I know they're expensive, but who knows? Who knows what they'll be? It makes me nervous. I have most of them, so I don't need them. But if there's one in particular you love, like if there's one that you already love, like Modern Glamour, get it now. Wet and Wild Hair. Now, there's a lot of people watching this that will be old enough to remember that look that we had back, when was it? When your hair was like scrunchy, like it actually made a sound and it looked wet. Do you remember that? Because you would go and you'd put this gel, I don't know what it was. It was like it smelled. Anyway, the point is your hair looked wet and it wasn't. It was crunchy and we left it that way. But that seems to kind of be making a comeback, except this, if you see this look, this is a wet, kind of piecey. Like it's not the old crunchy thing. It's more of a, your hair is like you got out of the shower and you whipped your head. Now, I did not attempt to do that with my hair today because, first of all, my hair is really thick and heavy, and wet hair on me, I don't think it's a good look. But I did do this. This is hair as art. Now, the looks they came up with on the fashion show, on the fashion week, there were some amazing looks. And I can do some of this sort of extravagant stuff with my hair because it is so thick. And when people ask me like, oh, your hair's thick, like how thick is it? It's not just thick, it's coarse. So that can be a good and bad thing. What I mean by that is it's good if you're trying to style, like if you're trying to curl it or put it into large buns or a big, top of the head ponytail or something. It's not good if you're looking for like a sleek, silky look. It takes a lot to get my hair to look truly flat. And my hair's not soft. Again, if you're older, there was a Barbie that had gold like wire through her hair, and she had it so you could curl it. That is kind of akin to what my hair is like. It has a coarse feel to it. There are products I can get to get it super silky and super soft, but it takes a lot. Now, the reverse of that is if you're trying to do hair as art, I can do that. I can do architectural looks, like really, get it up really high and do weird like shapes and stuff. Today, I just went with kind of a higher part at the front and some very big statement hair pieces. These are Swarovski, by the way. If they still exist, I will make sure to link to them. But you get the idea that there's an idea of making it, more about something extravagant instead of this very smooth, very quiet luxury. This is not quiet luxury. Art in your hair. Hair is art. Is not quiet luxury. Long artsy nails. Okay, so the idea of like nail art has been around for forever. And I remember way back in the day, I'm talking 90s, like there were people that did what I thought to be, and I could be wrong because the nail thing is not my, it's not my area, but it was Japanese nail art specifically, coming from Japan, and it was very intricate nail designs that we didn't really see in places like Boston because Boston is relatively conservative. And to be honest, there wasn't a lot of that in general where I was. Now we see an expanse of all types of nail art. Cassie Thorpe, who I love watching, has a very different aesthetic than I do, but she's so much, I'm sure you're watching Cassie, she's amazing. But she has these nails that are just like these amazing nails that always have like, you know, intricate designs and 3D things, and some have like, you know, like swishy stuff. They're phenomenal. They're not for me, but they're phenomenal. So that trend is definitely on the uprise. So long artsy nails are like part of that. And that has something to do, again, moving away from quiet luxury. Now, I haven't seen us really moving away from quiet luxury when it comes to trends. I think the designers are still in the quiet luxury space. I have been quiet luxury my entire life. It's just like, it's not a trend, it's just how I dress. But I like fun. I like over the top stuff too. It's just, it's, you know, it's not who I am on an everyday basis. It's more of a, oh, I'm going to Vegas, I'm going to do something fun. Or, oh, I'm going to New York and I'm going to a show and I want to like be, you know, a little bit more dressed up. Like, it's for an occasion. Quiet luxury as a trend has been popular like the last year or two, but it's also an aesthetic that many of us have just been, frankly. So nails, if you look at my nails, they're terrible right now. But they're very boring, right? This is very quiet luxury. They're very boring. They're squovels. This is called Bubble Bath by OPI. And, you know, if I were to do anything that was more interesting, more outrageous, it would still be pretty, you know, basic. So the idea of doing like acrylic nails with like sharp stiletto space, like that is not something I'm going to do, but I do think we're going to see more of it. I do think it's on the uprise, and I actually am seeing it a lot more here in Boston, which is not something I had really ever seen before. Flushed blush. Now, I think this is really interesting because blush has been really popular for the last couple of years. And in fact, recently I did a poll for my broadcast channel on Instagram. If you want to join, I'll make sure the link, I'll do another thing on Instagram. Basically, you go over to Instagram and you join a special group. And that special group on Instagram, I reach out to you guys and say things like, hey, here's a poll, or here's some pictures that I don't share with everybody else, that type of thing. There was one that I shared of a mask that I used at Christmas. That was a pretty funny picture, which I wasn't going to share with everybody. But anyway, the blushes have been really popular, and I did a poll over there and asked you guys what you wanted me to pick up from the Chanel spring collection other than the Rivage, because I've had that for a long time and I did a video on it. And the number one thing was blush. And I thought to myself, how interesting, because the blush colors in the spring collection for Chanel, to be honest, are not particularly new. In fact, they remind me of, I can't remember the name of the blush right now, it'll come to me later, Printemps, that I've had for a couple of years. So, but that's what you guys want to see. So blush is like still incredibly popular, and everyone is coming out with blush. Armani has blushes. Now, what is it? Guerlain is coming out with blushes. I mean, it's just like blush every day. And I have enough blush, but I will obviously pick it up to review for all of you. So what this says in this particular article is that the biggest blush trend on the New York runway was flushed natural blush. So it was brushed across the cheeks and the bridge of the nose to create a slept-in flushed effect. And this is specifically from one of the artists for Smashbox Cosmetics. And what I would say is, and that's what I did today, sort of this, you know, flushed here and across the nose. And that is kind of in line with the smudged smoky eye, right? Because your eye makeup is smudged because you slept in it and you're just waking up so your cheeks are flushed. It's kind of an interesting, like, I don't know if that was the, you know, the thought process, but, and your hair's tousled. So yeah, like it's a very like natural but blush, like flushed look, which is not a contour. It's this, which is different than a lot we've been seeing, sort of the contour blush. So we'll see. I mean, that was kind of interesting. Number 6, science-backed skin prep. Now, this does not surprise me. It says in the article that another major trend across New York Fashion Week shows was the inclusion of derm-supported, science-backed skin prep to ensure the model skin was showing through in every look. So they were all getting, major facials, and then it was showing through in the look how good their skin was. And I think that's really interesting because back in the 80s and 90s, I spent some time in New York. My dad was from New York, and I would go, and you see models walking around sometimes, and like, especially if you go to like Saks or Bergdorf's and stuff, sometimes the models would be there, and their skin was no, I mean, this is a terrible thing for me to say. Their skin was terrible. And I think their skin was terrible, frankly, because they're smoking, they're not particularly like healthy, they're underweight, especially back then. And they were really young, a lot of them, and it was a different time. And so these are very tall, thin people who aren't eating well, like nutritious, because they're trying to keep their weight down. And they were smoking all the time, all the time. And skincare, as we think of it now, wasn't really in the advanced stages. You didn't have a 17-step skincare routine like everyone does now, including the 12-year-olds who go to Sephora. May I just make a note? If you are a parent of I don't have children, so I really can't comment, but your 12-year-old does not need to go to Sephora and spend $800 on skincare. I don't understand. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up on the internet, because apparently kids, 10, 11, 12-year-olds are going to Sephora and they feel like they need like enhanced skincare. Probably because of people in my profession here on social media that are talking about these products. But again, it's like, you're 12, your skin is amazing, like just, enjoy it. But anyway, so there wasn't this sense of like really going to a dermatologist and spending time to figure out what your skincare needs are and, really concentrated on that. And it seems now that like that is part of at least the New York Fashion Show this time. And I think that's great because I have always been somebody who believes that the better care I take of my skin, the less makeup I use, actually. So like I have, the foundation that I have on today is a very natural, very lightweight, glowy foundation, and I have very little of it on because I feel like, I've taken really good care of my skin, and I'm still continuing to do that to this day. I work very hard on my skin, looking as good as it can. That includes things like lasers and a new device that was sent to me, which I love, and I'm not going to talk about it just yet because I haven't used it. I like to use things for at least a month, but wow, it's good. Anyway, it's coming. It's really good. I don't like get excited about things very often when it comes to that kind of stuff because I'm always like, how good could it be? But this device is actually good. So yeah, I think it's great. I think it's great that they're incorporating that into the look, that it's important to take care of yourself. And your skin is your body's biggest organ. It's incredibly important. 7, nostalgic corporate women chic, which I love. And the article says, whether it be the Truman Capote era bouffant blowouts, which was on the Christian Cohen runway, or the coiffed 90s inspired S-wave styles at the Retrofet show, nostalgic, powerful businesswomen hair looks were not to be missed. So mob wife is really in. If you have no idea what that is, that's a new trend. Mob wife being like the big hair, the sort of smoky eye look, big blush, big jewelry, big earrings, and like leopard. Leopard is definitely, that's another trend, by the way, in the fashion world. I think leopard's going to be huge. But anyway, leopard, black and leopard, and like very chunky jewelry. And so big hair. This one, this picture, this is in the article. It's Dave Katinsky from Getty Images for Tresemme, and look at the hair. Like, look at the bouffant and that. Like, that is some hair. I could probably do that. 8, fluffy lashes. So I did a little bit of that with my lashes today, but I didn't really do what they're talking about. When they mean like fluffy, I think they're talking about like sort of end of the eyelash. So elongating your outer corners, a luscious lash look, sort of a heavier, fluttery kind of thing. Now, there's different interpretations about how you would get a fluffy lash. I know we've all seen the very heavy fake lashes. That's not my thing. I'm not somebody who's really big into, I don't wear fake lashes, but I've been pretty lucky. I have relatively long lashes. But like a fluffy lash is more of like, you know, yes, it's a little, you have a lot of it, but it's not like thick and clumpy, it's more fluttery. So my interpretation, and some of the runways had this, was sort of the outer corners. A way to do that without fake lashes is just to keep your mascara like lighter on the inside and then really pump it up on the outer corners. I think that can look really nice as well. It can elongate the eye. I think it can look actually really pretty. Number 9. A statement red lip, which is why I have a red lip on today. And, you know, this goes in with like Hollywood glamour. It goes in with like the femininity, the businesswoman, the mob wife, all statement red lips. And let's face it, a statement red lip has been popular for a very long time. I don't know if it ever went away. There is, in the quiet luxury kind of realm, more of the, you know, nude lip, the more quiet, simple, you know, soft lip. But every once in a while, a good red lip, I do feel like, is a powerful statement. This is a brand new shade. This is Charlotte Tilbury's. This is Charlotte Tilbury's lipstick, and this is in Mark of a Kiss, and it has the liner and the lipstick. And I will tell you, for those of you who were interested in this line, this shade, Mark of a Kiss, which is a matte lip, is incredibly comfortable, incredibly smooth. It's the Charlotte Tilbury matte formula of old that actually does not feel like a matte at all. And the shade is perfect. And I do not say that lightly. Again, if you have watched me before, you'll know I am somebody who takes my commentary very seriously. Like, I am somebody, if I say that something's worth buying, I really mean it. If I say something is terrible, I'm saying it because I really think it's bad. If somebody gives me something, a brand sends me something, I am not hesitant to criticize it if it's not up to par. This lipstick may be my favorite red lipstick ever. And the liner is the same. Absolutely stunning. So I bought the liner and the lipstick. This reminds me of NARS Cruella, which I wore quite often. In fact, it was the only really red lipstick I ever really wore, which is also a matte. This color is just stunning. I really love it. It's not a color I wear. I just don't wear red very often. If you have red hair or reddish hair, you know that a red lip is hard to pull off. But this one, Mark of a Kiss, it's perfect, in my opinion. It's just the perfect classic red, you know? It's that Hollywood glamour red. It's that you could wear it to the office red. It's not too much, but it definitely makes a statement. Now, I personally, if I do a red like this, I don't do a smoky eye with it. What I do is a very simple face, a very contoured face, but a very simple face. No blush, just bronzer, and a shadow on my eye that basically matches, almost matches my skin color, black liner, and mascara. That is my like glamour, like really, you know, like that look, you know, the look that makes you feel confident. And I don't do it very often. Over the years, I've sort of gotten away from that look. But I think I might try it again with this red lipstick because I am that fond of it. So, you know, I don't get a lot of Charlotte Tilbury anymore, but that lipstick is phenomenal. So those are all the trends that they called out in this new beauty article. Like I said, I think there's others that are out there, but I thought this was an interesting way to sort of present some of the beauty trends that I saw most of these as well. And I think there's going to be more. So I'd love to hear if you guys watched any of the New York Fashion Week, what beauty trends you saw, what you think might be coming, what you'd like to see coming, any beauty trends that you are actually like picking up on. And I will have some more fashion stuff coming as well. I'm going to have sort of a spring like design. I don't know. I don't want to call it a haul, but like after I did my declutter, and I decluttered. Did I declutter? I made some like realizations about my closet and what I have and what I don't have and what I want it to be and what it isn't. And I'm making a real effort starting now about what I'm picking up and being very discerning about what I'm buying for my fashion and what like color stories I'm building around or what items I'm building around for spring and in the future. So I'll be doing a video about that coming soon. So thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope to see you in another video really soon. Bye.